You know, guys, as I was scurrying through some of my old videos, because one of the things I did recently was do my 90-second animated girls profile confidential on Mallory McMallard from Mighty Ducks the Animated Series. One of the things I noticed was one of the videos I talked about was Mallory and Nosedive potentially being an item. Now, I know some people might look at that and say, Brian, there was never any hint in the show that they were going to become a couple or an item or whatever. And look, I'm not going to say there wasn't or there was, okay? But I view the series from my own personal perspective, and I'm not alone in it. I'm not alone in that. And from what and believe it or not, many other fans have seen, is perhaps little Easter eggs and moments here and there that kind of tease the potential of something between the two. I mean, I know some people will come out and say that Nosedive's a kid, he's a teen, she's an adult. Really? Well, if that's the case, then how is he able to detect certain things, notice certain things, or have feelings about certain things, if he's just an immature teen or kid? Let me ask you that. How is that possible? It's not. Because what he is a young adult that still has yet to mature fully. I think because one of the things I do notice with creators of any animated series when it comes to a male character or a young adult male character is sometimes they, they kind of depict them as being still kind of an immature person that has yet to mature, that's slowly maturing. They're going off of real life logic is what they're doing. They're going off real life logic of once men hit 25, that's when they're fully matured and they fully have a grasp of what needs to be done and stuff like that. But anyway, getting back on track here, who's to say he's not an adult? Because maybe that's what they're doing. They're going by that real life logic. But anyway, to me, there's just so many moments in the series that, well, not maybe so many moments, but there are moments in, Easter eggs here and there that just, pretty much pinpoints to the idea that if the series had continued, if the series had gotten a second season or whatever the case may be, who's to say that David Wise or any of the other writers behind the series wouldn't have attempted to go that route? Who's to say they wouldn't have attempted to maybe potentially put those two together? Because when you think about it, knowing Disney, and I said this in my Animated Girls Profile Confidential on Mallory, knowing Disney, they would go this route. They would go the route of putting a character like Nosedive with a character like Mallory. They would. Because of the fact that they realize fans probably noticed something there. Like, basically, Nosedive likes to tease her. He likes to pull pranks on her. He likes to tease her. And in the end, she wants to prank him back. She wants to tease him back. For example, when, she gets this holograph device that is used for like target practice or practice period training. Basically, she mentions that the next time Nosedive puts worms in my boots, I'm going to give him the fright of his life. In other words, she wants to get even. So, you can't tell me that there isn't something there if one wants to get even with another for a prank by pranking them. You know what I'm saying? Point is, you could agree or disagree whether or not there was something there. Some would say that there was more evidence of Wild Wing and Mallory or, Duke and Mallory. And that might be true. That might be true, but I think in a sense, for Disney, especially when it comes to a show like Mighty Ducks, it might have been too obvious. And you got to think of it like, Mighty Ducks is a comedic action show, an animated comedy action show that is similar to Ninja Turtles in many aspects, which a lot of people would point out, especially with the fact that it's written, some of its episodes, if not most of the episodes, are written by the same guy that did TMNT. So, obviously, with those similarities, between the two shows, you know that if they were to try some kind of romance, if you will, that they would go down the route that fans probably are expecting, but wouldn't expect, kind of like half and half. Like, maybe not half and half, but more along the lines of fans expect maybe Wild Wing Mallory or Duke Mallory, but some very slightly expect Nosedive Mallory, and those that slightly expect it would get it. That's just my opinion. And again, there are several little moments here and there. I mean, for example, like when they're doing this publicity thing on, in the what looks like Alaska or the Sierra Alps or whatever, Nosedive gets injured. And who's the first one to ask where he's at? Because once they all get to safety, who's the first one to ask, where's Nosedive? Mallory. Mallory's the one to ask first of where's Nosedive's whereabouts before he comes crashing down into the ground and into a concussion. And another thing is who gets teamed up with Mallory and Buzz Blitzman Mighty Duck to go search for the kid? Nosedive. So, and obviously there's an equalness between the two. As a matter of fact, once they find Buzz and everything, it's Nosedive that kind of has to interrupt the tender moment and say, he's getting a little itchy because the Saurians, their enemies, have always gotten the jump on them when they least expect it. So, and it's Nosedive that points out maybe a tracking device was put onto the kid, and lo and behold, Mallory reaches behind or pulls up the ponytail or the long tail, if you will, the ponytail, if you will, on Buzz's hair, and lo and behold, there's a tracking device, just like Nosedive pointed out. So again, you have all these little moments here and there. Heck, in Traitor Among Us, Mallory seemingly is jealous. She's jealous. Maybe it doesn't seem like she's jealous, but you could see that there's a bit of jealousy there. Like, envy. Like, why is this girl? Why is Nosedive and Duke, fawning over this girl when, hey, I'm right here, kind of deal. Although, being Mallory, she doesn't express it that way, but what she says, like, I'm gonna be sick, or this or that, or even when it's revealed that this girl is a traitor, and Mallory then goes up to Nosedive and teasingly says, and you wanted to date her. So, come on, honestly, there are moments in this series, maybe not major, but moments between the two characters that I believe were little subtle Easter eggs and hints that maybe they wanted to do something, or maybe they did these subtle hints and Easter eggs to get the fans to speculate, what if? And again, there are a lot of fans that do support Mallory and Nosedive. Yes, there are fans that, support Mallory and Duke. There are fans that support Mallory and Wild Wing. I get that. But to me, I think the obvious romance story arc between any of the two members of the team would have to be Mallory and Nosedive. I mean, it's too obvious. In my opinion, it's too obvious just the way they play off each other. I just feel it would be, I just feel that if they wanted to go that route, and they could still do that route if they wanted to, depending on if Mighty Ducks was to get a reboot in some fashion, that, I could see it happening. I could see them building to that. I really could. Now, I know some people might say it would never happen. Like I said earlier, some people have come out in the comment section of the video that I did, 6 years ago, believe it or not? Some have said, it's not going to happen. It never will. There's too much of a difference. And like I said, you have a right to your opinion. But to me, I look at the subtle details. I look at the subtle details and everything that even if nothing comes out of it, there is, it does give the fans, enough moments, to speculate at, to kind of, theorize and, imply to themselves, what if, Because here's the thing. Going back to My Little Pony, even though it's not seen on screen in the finale, you could pretty much feel that it's implied that Spike and Rarity got together in some form of fashion and still kind of have a more than friendship relationship, if you will. Well, basically a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship that's kind of on the level of, because of what they're doing right now, they have to kind of hold back on it, or they have to meet when they can. They have to get together when they can. So it's implied, so basically it's made in the eyes of a lot of fans, it's implied, if you will, that, something may have happened, although it's not confirmed, it's not visually seen or anything like that. So basically fans have a right to speculate and think in their minds and theorize what if, or did it. Another good example coming out of MLP is Rainbow Dash and Applejack. When they walk in together towards the end of the final episode, people are pretty much speculating, if not implying, that officially Appledash, as the ship is nicknamed, is now an item. They are now a thing, if you will. So, there's stuff like that. So who's to say that, fans can't imply or, kind of believe that maybe there was something hinted at with these little moments here and there, these little Easter eggs here and there between Mallory and Nosedive. I'm just saying. And again, look, people have a right to their opinions. I'm not saying they don't. But I feel in my opinion that I think Disney was hinting at something, and all they did was leave it open for the fans to speculate and wonder. Just like with the fact that even though the show only had one season, it left the door open for fans to speculate and wonder what could have been in the second season, and then take that, speculation and implication and put it to pen and write fanfics and maybe even do web comics and all that to kind of pinpoint in their mind what they believe would have happened next, in a second season. And believe it or not, there are fanfics and fan arts of Mallory and Nosedive being an item. That's a fact too. But let me know what you guys think. I know I may have sounded like I rambled a little bit, but let me know what you guys think on what I had to say. Do you think perhaps Disney would do that? That they would look at a show like Mighty Ducks, and if they wanted to reboot it, or even continue it with a second season, that is long overdue maybe in the eyes of some fans, that perhaps they would go that route, that they would actually do the Nosedive Mallory ship because of the opposites attract kind of deal that would be utilized for it to happen. And that fans probably would expect to happen, but least so than, like, say, Wild Wing Mallory or Duke Mallory. Let me know what you guys think down below. Comment if you like. I'd love to hear from each and every one of you on this. And I am out.